Hey folks, Matthew here with another episode of my inspiration series. I'm currently in an island in Thailand called Koh Pangan. I am sitting outside of an abandoned, like, cruise ship liner themed hotel. It has abandoned signs everywhere, no entry. I rode a motorbike here because it's like a little bit on the far island. I didn't decide to bring the bike today, or the trike. So I rented a motor scooter because I wanted to come out here and check it out, and I just got caught in some rain. So I thought, why not make a video that would add on to my inspiration series videos. I believe that we're all inspired by a number of specific things that happen in our life, people that we meet within our life, and each interaction, each moment helps to add to who you are and helps to influence who you end up becoming. My previous videos were about how I came to entertain the idea of riding the bike, and before that one was how I entertained the idea of living in China, which were both very fundamental moves for me to be in the current situation I am right now. This story today is going to be about how video has become so prevalent in my life and how I've been able to utilize it on the tour. Oops, starting to rain a little bit more. And how I've been able to utilize it on the tour to make the journey around the world, the Jayoe World Tour, work the way that I think it works best for me. Early in my time in China, I was very focused on business. I wanted to be rich and successful as an entrepreneur, and I worked really hard at that. It wasn't until I really started traveling, though, that I found out that I had other passions, and one of them was the act of exploring and finding out about this world that we live in. It's so interesting. And one of those trips was solo, and was me coincidentally going to Thailand, which is where I'm at right now. I was thinking about telling this story on the beach that this happened, but I guess this will have to do because it falls in line with the series I wanted to record. It was my first time really backpacking on my own to a place I'd never been before, and to a country I had never been before either. It was pretty transformative beyond the story's purpose that I'm telling you right now. I found out that, man, this world is full of different cultures and different people that I want to know, cultures that I want to get acquainted with. One of the places that I visited was an island called Koh Pangan. Koh Pangan is famous for one basic thing. It's beautiful, it's paradise. There's many other things that you can do on Koh Pangan, but the thing that has kind of put it on the map in Thailand is something called the full moon party. An all-night affair that goes on during the full moon that's debauchery, drugs, and everything in between. Dancing, fire, just craziness. And I wanted to experience it. I wasn't necessarily interested in the drugs aspect, but I'll enjoy a few beers and hang out on the beach and people watch. That was my intention. I went to the full moon party, and it was amazing. Coincidentally, Koh Pangan parties on any sort of special moon occasion. Half moon, quarter moon, blue moon, red moon, whatever, it doesn't matter. They'll party. And so I'm at this beach, 20,000 plus people just partying and getting crazy. And it was a wonderful day and night in Koh Pangan. The next day I woke up and went out to the beach and laid out on the beach. I was sitting there relaxing, taking in the debris left over on the previous night, every manner of like sort of party paraphernalia. I get up on my elbows and I kind of sit up because I hear somebody.
This is On the Beaten Path in Thailand at the famous full moon party.
And he had a button-up shirt on with a bunch of logos on it and whatnot, and he's walking backwards talking to his friend who's holding a camera aimed at him. And he's walking backwards, and I catch just little snippets of what he's saying. So here I am in Koh Pangan, I'm checking out the blah, 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 and he walks away. And I was just so curious at what they were doing. At the time, I had just a rudimentary knowledge of video and pictures and things like this, and these two people had something going on that I wanted to know more about. I chased them down, I waited until they kind of finished whatever scene they were recording, and I tapped the guy in the corner, and I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What is this?" And the guy proceeded to tell me a story. He said that he and his friend were teachers in the United States. They were teaching, and they decided that they wanted to go on vacation together. The two were good friends and shared a passion for jazz. And so when they went on this tour, this trip that they took, they made a video. This was before YouTube. This was before all of that. It was just a video for them to post on their blog. Basically, it was a video mostly for them, not even necessarily to post on a blog. It was just something for them to make. And so they went to this place in Asia. I'm not sure where it was. It wasn't important in the story. But this place, they made a video. They made a video about jazz, where they were, and how jazz was interpreted, and how people were musically expressing themselves in the place that they were, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. That was the key to this. They did what they loved. And they came home after that trip, compiled the video, and then posted on their blog. And their blog had some SEO, so it attracted some people, and some other people attracted those people, and it attracted some people, and those people shared their video, and so on and so forth, until it grew in popularity. The video was part of a series they called Off the Beat and Path. Like off the beaten path, but off the beat, like musical beat. And so I'll leave a link to their blog below, because it's still up. It's not necessarily as active as it once was, but it's still there. And so these guys had produced this video, and it attracted some attention. Eventually they were approached by some companies. One of them was Air Asia, who does flights all throughout Asia. And they said, you know, we really like your video. It has some, you know, some following, and we'd like that following to see Air Asia. What would it take for us to put Air Asia on your, you know, on your clothes, and put some logo work and sponsor you if you'd be willing to make more videos? And so the guys kind of looked at each other and said, this might be an opportunity. They ended up working out a deal with Air Asia where wherever they traveled to, their flights were comped. And so they didn't have to pay for flights to the places that they really wanted to go anyway. And they started formulating a plan, and they actually found other sponsors and other people to come on board, and slowly and surely the logos started to appear on the shirt of the host and this guy. I'm sorry, I'm flubbing on the name, but I'll leave it in the information below. So they created this thing that they loved, based on what they loved, and they were being paid for it, and they were using video as a conduit to earn that money and to express themselves. Ding! I remember I was on that beach in Koh Pangan. I had just finished, you know, drinking and partying the night before, and I met these guys, and I kind of felt to myself, wow, this might have been why I did this trip, this backpacking trip. You know, sometimes you can have a moment, an epiphany, or a meeting, and you're like, wow, you know, this was a vacation up until now, and now it's become something more. Anyways, I thank them for their time. They went on their way, and I never really saw them again. I sent them a couple of messages, and we communicated back and forth. I thank them for inspiring me to think and perceive video as a viable way to travel around the world. Because that's what it was. It was the justification that video is a possible way that I can travel around the world. It was implanted. It was seeded. It was seeded or spiced in my soup. If you watch the previous episodes, I think that all of us are some sort of a soup, and you add different spices to change the flavor, and we all become different flavors of soup. And this spice added to my soup definitely changed the flavor of who I was to become. Because after that, I knew it. I knew that if these two guys can make it making videos and traveling and using videos as a conduit to travel, then I can too. And that's when I started formulating videos into my scheme to travel around the world. When I did formulate a scheme to travel around the world, I think my Jayoe World Tour was not even really a blip on the map at that point in time. But it's funny how you put those things in your pocket, you put that inspiration, you put it in your pocket, and you save it for a rainy day or a day when you'll need to use it. And when I started thinking about traveling as a future for me, I started thinking about what do I love? What am I good at? And I had become pretty good at video, and I loved it. And so originally, because I had seen these guys doing these larger, like commercial style videos with sponsorships, I was thinking maybe commercial videos is the way to do it. So I bought a bunch of video gear, and my first iteration of the Jayoe World Tour was designed around doing commercial videos, carrying a bunch of high-end cameras with really expensive lenses, and going to hotels and saying, hey, my name's Matt, I'm traveling around the world, I can host a video about your hotel and produce it for like a couple of $1,000s or something. And then I'd stay at the hotel, produce that video, and then it would propel me and fund me for the next job. And I would slowly move around the world. But that sort of faded away and was replaced with this YouTube blog, which has no boss. I am my own boss. There's no hotel telling me how or what to do, and I can pretty much do whatever I want. I can make a video about my inspirations. I can make a video cycling around. I can make a video about a weird abandoned cruise ship hotel, you know, whatever I want to do. Inspiration from off the beaten path, the crew there, the two guys, laid the groundwork for me to entertain the idea and employ the idea of making videos for a living. A lot of you guys wonder how I make my money on the road and how much money I make. I won't tell you how much money I make, but I will tell you that the video aspect of this journey does make up a considerable portion of what funds me and my journey. So it has accomplished its goal in many ways. I'm very glad and proud that I was able to experience the meeting of those guys, because maybe without that I would have not had the foundation to say that it's possible. And that's what inspiration does. It lays the groundwork for what you think is possible. It moves the governor. It changes it moves the bar, shifts the bar. It shifts the bar of understanding. It makes you feel like confident and powerful enough to push through a boundary that you might have had, or create a goal where no boundary or any path even laid before. I think that's pretty much what happened when I saw those guys on that beach. I had never even really thought about producing videos and traveling and using videos as a form of as a tool to travel, but seeing those guys inspired the creation of a path, and that path has led me to this rainy cruise ship, abandoned cruise ship hotel, which hopefully the rain lets up eventually and I can kind of move on, but you know, it's allowed me to tell you this story, that's for sure. I mean, after meeting those guys, I had produced a television show in China that further worked that muscle of video, and I produced 24 episodes of a pretty big TV show in Ningbo, China, that 7 million people watched my episodes. At least that's what the network told me when I asked them. So yeah, you never know. You never know what conversation, what interaction, what momentary bump in the road will inspire you to do something in the future. That something can be anything, and you never know where it might take you. So leaving yourself open to possibilities and opening your eyes to people wandering, people doing, things passing your purview is important. Because if I had laid on that beach in Koh Pangan, content with the party from the night before, and heard those guys walk past me, I could have just as easily looked at them and gone, you know, just as easily. I mean, probably 9 times out of 10, the average person would have just gone, and never followed up with a question, never had a conversation that ended up inspiring them into the future, and it would have just been a passing glance at a passing 2 people doing their own thing, and I would have never been able to work it into my personal life. But I did, and I'm thankful for it. And if you guys watch this video, I apologize for forgetting your names. I'll leave them and all of your information in the description below, but thank you so much. You guys have catapulted me on a journey that sees no immediate end, but has infinite possibilities in front of me, and video has been a crucial part of it. So thanks again, guys. And that'll end today's Inspiration Series episode. I think the next episode, as we're getting into Southeast Asia, we'll talk a little bit about Indonesia, because it was in Indonesia that my desire for utilizing video as a tool for travel morphed, and there was an inspirational moment that really solidified the idea of traveling in video for me, and created a whole menagerie of opportunities that could have blossomed into some interesting and amazing things, but it ended up molding my life into some different ways, which ended up here. Everything ends up here, right? Everything that you've ever done, good or bad or whatever, ends up there. Wherever you are right now, that's where all of that inspiration, interaction, strife, ups and downs has led you. And hopefully you're happy with that. And if you're not, change it. Add a little spice to your soup. Look for that spice. Look for that opportunity to have that interaction. Lay the groundwork for an amazing structure. Anyways, still raining. Hopefully I won't have to ride back in the pouring rain, but I might. And that's okay. Matt from Koh Pangan in Thailand. Wishing you guys a great day. Stay inspired. Bye-bye.